playing tricks on you.
What's up and happy mental push of Monday, baby? We here. So check this out. The title of today's message is My Mind Playing Tricks on Me. The Power of Belief. So this message was inspired by multiple conversations that I've had this week, and then also within myself. I felt myself really challenged this week, emotionally, but also really what triggered me. I went to this training this week, and when I tell you, it was so intense. Literally, I felt myself every minute, every hour, asking myself, can I do this? You know, it's like, is this possible? Because it was so challenging. Like, it pushed me so beyond my comfort zone. Like, I think of myself as a pretty strong presenter of content and information, but this training was so intense. It moved me so beyond the scope of what I've done that I found myself doubting myself, you know? And so I was walking with my dad today, and just to add to that, and we were talking about just the mind in general and just the power of when you believe in anything. You know, like everything that we have around us, it all started with somebody's thought. They just believed that it was possible. It happened. You know, and so none of us are excluded. That's what, as we continue to talk, I said none of us are really excluded. Like we all have the capability and the capacities to be, do, and have anything that we want. Anything on the planet. Yet, oftentimes, our mind plays tricks on us and has us believe that we are not capable. You know, that we can't do it. And so, I just challenge you, you know, to believe in yourself. With that being said, I wanted today to be a gentle reminder to let you know that you have the capacity and capabilities to do anything that you want to do. So if your mind plays tricks on you sometimes and tells you that you can't, today I'm going to tell you how and why you can. So check it out. The first thing is check in with the inner conversation that you're having with yourself. So this goes back to what we spoke about last week. Awareness. What is it that I'm really telling myself? So just to wrap that up, there's a quote that I said last week, a couple weeks ago at a conference. The best ideas can only be executed with the right frame of thinking. And so what that means is that even though I may have these well laid out plans, if I don't believe in my mind that it's possible, it cannot happen. It cannot happen. And so we may think that our thoughts are secret, but they're not secret because they come out in our actions. What we believe in our mind is what will manifest. I know in this movie, The Secret, they say thoughts become things. And so you really have to check in with yourself and ask, what is it that I'm telling myself? And so here's my vulnerability. Here's an example. So I recognize that none of my relationships worked because the inner conversation I was having with myself was, I'm not lovable. So you gonna be in a relationship, but you telling yourself you're not lovable. So you're not gonna accept love from another person because you don't believe internally that you're lovable. You don't believe you're good enough. So, you know, the work that I've done now is about me growing myself and loving myself more and believing. And the more that I work on it, I start believing it's a possibility for me. So you really have to check in with what is it that you're telling yourself? What is the inner conversation you having? Are you telling yourself you're good enough? Are you telling yourself you're not capable? Because that will manifest. Just want to add a reframe here. Yet. And so, what do you mean yet? I'm saying that a lot of times when we are having the inner dialogue we having with ourselves, we make it so final and it's fixed. Like, I'm just not a good speaker. You know, I used to say that to myself. I'm just not a good communicator. Or, this opportunity is too big for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we having this whole conversation with ourselves. But I just want to challenge you here to say, yet. yet. And so, like, I think about that conference this past week, and I'm just like, man, I'm not ready yet. I'm gonna be. And so, yet is almost like I'm just not there yet. We're making progress. We will get there eventually, but I'm a work in progress. And so, just give yourself permission to say that no, I don't have it all figured out, and that's okay. And then the other part of that is self-compassion. It's okay if you don't know. Give yourself permission there just to say, I'm not there yet, but I'm working to get there. So the second piece of this is courage is the bridge to confidence and belief. So I just want to let you know here that we are not isolated. Everyone on this planet has the capacity and the capabilities to be successful because we already had greatness in us the day we were born. Steve Jobs, at some point, he had the little inner conversation going on. All successful people have it. However, the definition of courage, and they said, the ability to do something that frightens one. The other piece of this is that every time that we choose courage, that we build our mental muscle. Hence the mental push-ups. They make us strong mentally, right? And so it's almost like the small wins, the small successes, they build momentum for us. Because after you have one moment and you're like, wait a minute, I can do a little bit more and a little bit more. So I'm reminded of, over the past few weeks, I gave that first little speech in a training, right, for my colleagues. And after that, I started to see, I was like, wait a minute, I can do this. Then I did it at the national conference in Denver. And I said, wait a minute, I definitely can do this. And so now I'm like, okay, I need to I'm turning this into a business. Like, I'm literally trying to get in there and figure out how I can do this for the masses. How can I do this worldwide, right? But it all started from those little moments, those small wins. They started creating momentum, and they strengthened us, and they started allowing us to believe in what we're capable of. And so the thing is, I just want to say to you, as I said before, we are not isolated. We all have greatness inside of us. So push beyond that limit and choose courage over what the inner conversation is saying in your head. The last piece of the workout is act as if and take actions toward that. And so here I'm talking about vision. And so I looked at the definition of vision, and it said a mental image of what the future will or could be like. And so, what is your vision? When you think about what it is that you want for your life, how are you living in that vision, right? So one of the things that I've been doing to get clear on my vision is in the morning I take about 3 to 5 minutes and I really think about who is it that I want to be and what is it that I want out of life. Like, what do I want spiritually, emotionally, personally, relationally, financially, all these things. Like, what is the highest version of who I am and what does a dynamic life look like for me? And so the thing is, once you get clear in your mind about what that vision is, because we have to have an idea of what it is that we want for ourselves, right? Start acting as if you already got it. If you say, hey, I want to be a CEO, then just start acting like it. Start dressing like one. Start talking like one. All that because the universe doesn't recognize what it is. It just operates on frequency. And once it's in your mind, that's the law of attraction. But that's a whole nother conversation. But the other part of that is taking action, because I'm not saying that you just visualize it and you start acting like it and that's just it. I'm not saying that. We still have to take actions and steps to create those things that we want. So here's my vulnerability. So one of the things that I say, hey, I want a dynamic partnership. So that was in my visualization. But I've had a coach for months, and I recognized that I wasn't utilizing it in the best way possible so that I could grow myself in that area. Because this is what you said you wanted, right? So today I made a commitment, and I said I'm going to commit to doing practice calls and really getting in here and doing the work so that I can grow in this area, because this is what I said I wanted, right? And so that's about acting as if, but also taking actions to get towards whatever that thing is you want. Because again, when you take the action, another thing that's going to happen, as we talked about in the last number 2, you're going to start building confidence. You're going to start believing up in a nice little bow. Number 1, check in with the inner conversation with yourself. But also give yourself a little self-compassion and love and say, yet. I'm not there yet, but I will be. And then secondly, Know that courage is the bridge to confidence and belief because it creates momentum and you flex your mental muscles and you start believing it is possible. And then lastly, act as if and start aligning your actions to the vision. Whatever it is you see with yourself, because remember, the universe only recognizes frequency. That's it. So once you believe it, it can happen, right? Because you already are taking steps in your mind to get there. So have a great week. Get out there this week and do your mental push-ups. Much love, light. But it's the Dorky Jock signing off, baby. And I am out.